Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We welcome all of you to the SkillsFuture Month in collaboration with Smart Nation 2021, organized by SkillsFuture Singapore and Smart Nation Singapore. Our speakers, Andy and Eunice, will be sharing the topic, Introduction to E-commerce and Digital Marketing. Throughout the session, please feel free to post your questions in the Q&A tab that you see on the right panel. Do take note, questions will be moderated. Andy, please take the stage.
Thank you, Celeste. Thank you very much. I'll just start sharing my screen first. Just give me a quick thumbs up if you can see my screen, please. Okay, great. So I'm assuming everybody can hear me and can see my screen as well. So guys, welcome to the session titled as Introduction to E-commerce and Digital Marketing. My name is Andy Shankar. I am one of the program managers at Lithan Academy, and I manage quite a few programs that are around digital marketing and e-commerce as well. So the whole agenda or the whole purpose of today's session is to just give all of you a bit of a high-level 101 introduction to e-commerce and digital marketing, right? If you have some background in e-commerce, that's really good. But for those of you, majority of the people are, they come from no background in e-commerce space. So this is just a very, very high-level 30,000 feet view kind of a presentation to just show you how does this feed really look like, what really happens in e-commerce, what are the different ways of marketing your store. So welcome again, everybody. So the agenda is I will give you a little bit of an introduction to e-commerce. Most of you already know what e-commerce is, but perhaps you are not familiar with what are the different e-commerce models. So that's what we are going to be talking about. And I will also share with you the high-level steps that you all should keep in mind when you're building an online store. Now, building is one part of it. The important part is to market that store, because that's when you are going to start profiting. There's no point of having a store, right? So in session 3, which is Introduction to Digital Marketing, I will be sharing with you all the different ways of how you can market your store and your products online. And I'll share with you all the digital marketing channels as well. So if you've got any questions, just type it in the Q&A chat box, and I will be taking all the questions towards the end of the session. So let's get started without further ado, guys. So introduction to e-commerce, right? I'm not going to be reading out this bookish definition to all of you. Everybody knows what e-commerce is. Everybody knows what m-commerce is, specifically to mobile commerce. Anything that you buy and sell through mobile phone, that's m-commerce. But e-commerce, everybody's familiar with, right? Any transaction that's happening online, selling and buying of goods, that is e-commerce. So everybody knows this stuff. Not a big deal with this. But a lot of people don't know what are the different models, different ways of selling, or even different ways of buying online. So I'm going to be exposing those different ways of selling online. So let's get started here. So just to give you a bit of a snapshot of the different kinds of e-commerce models. So right at the top, what we have is we've got business to consumer, B2C model. We've got business to business model. We've got consumer to consumer model. And then we've got consumer to business model. So instead of again, reading out the definitions to you, I will just give you a simple example, and immediately it will make sense to you what I'm talking about. So business to consumer model right now, a typical classic case example for this is Amazon. Everybody's familiar with Amazon. Businesses are selling to consumers. So that's a B2C model. A business to business model, not many people may be familiar with it just yet, but I'm sure you may have heard of the company AliExpress. Or even Alibaba. So if you've ever bought, if you're one of the traders who's selling something online, if you've got any experience, a little bit of experience in this space, you probably have already heard of AliExpress. But Alibaba is the platform where businesses buy from businesses, right? So for example, let's say if you've got an e-commerce store in Singapore, and if you're selling furniture, if you're importing the stuff from If you're importing your furniture from China, then you most likely will be talking to a manufacturer in China. And Alibaba is the kind of platform that gives you access to meet manufacturers. So you as a business are dealing with another business. So that's a B2B e-commerce model. Consumer to consumer business model. I'm sure a lot of you have heard of Carousel. This is exactly where people like you and me, just normal people like you and me, are trading amongst each other. So for example, let's say you bought a screen, or you bought a furniture, or you bought, let's say anything, an electronic device, and you've used it for a year. Now you want to sell it, you put it up on Carousel, and just another person like me will just go and buy it from Carousel. So that's you and me, just peer to peer, just normal people trading. So that's consumer to consumer business model. Consumer to business model, which most of you probably have not heard of, very few people may have heard of it. This is where people like you and me, we sell our services to businesses. A classic case example for this would be a platform like Fiverr or a platform like Upwork, where let's say if you have something to sell, typically a service, you go and sell that service on these websites. And big businesses, large corporations, right? It could be any small business owner from any part of the world, or a big, large established business. If they find your profile interesting, they will reach out to you to engage you in your services. So for example, you are an accountant who's got accounting background, or if you're a writer who's got experience in copywriting. If you have these services that you can sell to businesses, then there are platforms. A typical classic example is Fiverr.com, Fiverr.com, where you can go and list your services. And that also is another kind of e-commerce models. So just giving you a bit of introduction to the different models out there. Now, again, sharing some more examples, right? Retail, as I shared with you, is Amazon. Wholesale is Alibaba. Dropshipping, you again may or may not have heard of it, depending on how familiar you are with e-commerce and selling stuff online. So dropshipping is a model where, let's just say you want to sell something online, but at this point in time, you're just starting out and you don't have enough capital to go and buy goods from the manufacturer directly. You are probably just test marketing your idea. You're just testing the space. You're not really sure if you want to spend big thousands of dollars in buying inventory. So you just kind of test marketing, or maybe you just want to take it simple. You don't want to get involved into shipping and all those things. You just want to have a website, and you want to sell products, but you want the manufacturer to directly ship the items to the consumer. This is called as a drop shipping model. So again, let's just say a classic case example would be if I want to sell something, let's say headphones. If I want to sell headphones and I choose to go into this space, but I don't want to deal with I don't want to deal with shipping just yet, or I don't even have the capital to buy in bulk. So what I will do is I will just go and start an e-commerce store. It could be anywhere. It could be on Lazada. It could be my own standalone website, depending on what you choose to do. It can be anywhere. And as soon as I get an order from my customer, I will forward the order details to the manufacturer or to the wholesaler, whoever I have a drop shipping agreement with. So I will send out the name of the consumer and the address, and the item gets directly shipped to the customer. So that's a drop shipping model. Crowdfunding model is, again, I'm sure a lot of you have heard of crowdfunding. It's a very common terminology these days. This is really where a company wants to raise funds. Maybe a company, or probably just an inventor. Just it could be somebody like you and me. You have a brilliant idea and you want to launch a product, but you don't have the funds. So what you would do is you would go on a Kickstarter platform, a crowdfunding platform called as Kickstarter.com. There are other platforms as well, but Kickstarter.com is obviously one of the most, it's at the top of the mind. It's one of the most famous platforms that are out there in terms of funding. So you go and you pitch your idea, and if people resonate with your idea, then they will, they'll be more than happy to invest their money into your idea. So that is crowdfunding. That also is one way of e-commerce, before you actually launch into the market. So these are some different examples that you will see. Subscription is a classic example. Typically, Netflix is an example of subscription-based model. Monthly, you're paying something. LinkedIn is an example. There's a paid LinkedIn service as well. These days, even YouTube is constantly pushing people to, buy their paid channel. So that also is subscription model. Physical products, digital products. Physical products, everybody knows. Digital products is, so if you buy something, let's say, I'm sure a lot of you may have bought an ebook from Amazon. So that's a digital product. If you download, let's say, a VPN software, so that's a digital product. If you buy an antivirus software, that's a digital product. So again, these are all different examples of e-commerce services, as I shared with you earlier, consumer to businesses, where you are selling your services to businesses and they're constantly coming in, buying your services online and engaging you. So these are some typical examples of e-commerce models. And the reason why I'm sharing this with you is because generally when we drop the word e-commerce, typically most people will think selling physical products and using Amazon or Lazada, but there are different models that are out there and the different monetization models that are out there. So I'm just sharing some examples just to help everybody open up their horizons, widen their horizons. So let me give you, again, at a very high level, what are the steps to building an online store? Now, again, different people may choose to go differently, but typically, let's just say you choose a product. Let's say I choose to sell some electronic items. I've chosen my niche. I only want to sell screens and monitors. So that's an item that I have chosen. Then what I will do is I will go and do some sort of research. I want to find out who are the people that are looking for monitors? What is the demographics? What sort of monitors and screens are they looking for? What is their background? Are they educated? Are they business owners? So I will do all sorts of research, not just from a market standpoint, but also from a competitor standpoint. I want to see who else is selling these monitors. What sort of monitors are they selling? What is their business model? Are they direct manufacturers? Are they wholesalers? Are they importing? Are they drop shipping? I will be doing all sorts of research before I go into business. And then once I have some information about the market, about the product, about the competition, then obviously I will go and set up my e-commerce store. Now, again, as I said earlier, depending on where you are, you may want to, play around with these steps. Some people, let's say, if you're not very clear, you want to get into e-commerce, but you're not very clear on what product you want to choose, then you may want to, flip the steps here. You may want to start off with research as the first step. So you just want to find out what is a product that is a hot selling product that is moving quickly and moving fast in the market space. So you do some research there, and then based on the data information that you've gathered, you choose a product. So we can do that way as well. So it really depends on where you are in your journey. But these are generally the steps to to launch an e-commerce store. So let's go a little bit deeper into each of these steps, and then I'll share with you how you can actually go and market these products as well. So at the highest level, when you're choosing a product, you want to make sure that you have evaluated your idea, evaluated in the sense you want to make sure that there is some demand for your product. Obviously, if 4 people in the world want your product, that's not enough demand. So you want to make sure that you have evaluated the market demand. Now, most of us, again, if you're choosing a product, you will either want to sell something that is already being sold out there. Example, if you're passionate about sneakers, you may want to sell sneakers. It's been there for hundreds of years. If you want to sell, I don't know, let's say if you're in fashion, you may want to sell dresses. So for these kind of things, you may not need to evaluate the idea because we know that people are already buying these things. But yes, if you're coming up with something brand new, if you're launching something brand new that the world has never seen, or maybe even a little twist on something that the product is already out there, and you want to put a little twist to it. Maybe you want to come up with a different version of it. You may want to evaluate the market demand. But it's always good to go and do your research. I'll share with you how you can do this research intelligently before you actually go and end up spending money or investing money, or even worse, losing money. So how do you obtain your product? How do you source your product? Perhaps that's a better word. How do you source your product? So you can either get it, you can either make it yourself. It's I've got a friend who she makes little figurines and she sells it online. So you can make it yourself. You can get it manufactured in any part of the world. If you want to get that done, of course, easily you can reach out to manufacturers on Alibaba.com. You can reach out to wholesalers if you within the country. Let's say if you've got wholesalers within Singapore, if you have wholesalers for that product, you can reach out to them, or you may want to just drop ship it. So depending on your strategy, depending on where you are, depending on where your business is, all of these factors really depend on how quickly you want to launch, how quickly you want to roll into the market, how much capital you have. So there are different factors that will affect it. But these are the typical ways as to how you can go about sourcing your product. Now, how do you identify these different product opportunity types? Now, as I said, when it comes to research, the good thing about digital is there's so much information out there. If you know the right kind of a tool, you can get the answers using that tool. So for example, a lot of people may ask, I don't know what to sell. The answer to that is Google provides you with the Google keyword tool, which really tells you what is it that people are really searching for in search engines. What is it that people are looking to buy? So you can use Google keyword tool to really find the keywords for products that people are looking to buy. There are marketplace intelligence tools like Terapeak.com that will tell you, it's spelled as Terapeak, Terapeak.com. So this is a marketplace intelligence tool that will tell you exactly what sort of keywords are people typing in different platforms. They give you competitive marketplace intelligence for different platforms like Lazada or Amazon. I've used that platform back in the days. I used to sell on eBay. So I used to use Terapeak a lot. It would give me exactly the keywords that people are searching for, the model, the size, the color. So that would give me a good idea as to what is the demand out there. So the point is, you can use these keywords to find out before you buy the product or before you go into business, to really know what is it that the market is really looking for. Now, of course, it's important for you to know the customer pain points, know exactly what they are, what is the problem that they are looking to solve. Now, here's another tip: follow your passion. Now, this is debatable, but I generally believe that if you're passionate about something, then obviously you will make it work. But at the same time, don't be so, one little tip I can share with all the passionate people, like if you're really passionate about something, make sure that there is demand in the marketplace. Like for example, if you're passionate about golf, there is a big, huge market for golf. But if you're passionate about growing tomatoes, not many people may want to buy tomatoes online. So be very careful of your passion. So passion is good, but just make sure that as long as you've validated your passion, it's good. That's the most important thing. Taking advantage of an opportunity gap in the market. This is also a very good thing. You've done the market research. You can see that, hey, people are actually looking for this item, but there is no decent tool or no decent supplier who's actually filling this opportunity. You can identify that gap in the market as well. So obviously for this, you will have to do good market research. Gain insights into your own experience and expertise. So this is another good one. So Obviously, if you're in the startup space, if you've ever followed, venture capitalists in Silicon Valley, you've probably heard a lot of venture capitalists saying that the best product is a product where the founder figured that he or she has got a problem in their life, but they don't have a solution to that, and they decided to go and build a solution for that. And turns out that millions of people around the world have that gap as well. So that's another example. So yeah, capitalize on trends as well. Now there are tools like Google Trends that will tell you what is it that people are actually searching for. It will show you the graph. It will show you that suddenly this search for something has spiked all of a sudden. Example, cryptocurrency, you will see the search trend has suddenly increased. So if you keep an eye on these trends, but before that, obviously, you need to know what are these tools that will teach you how to keep an eye on these trends. So all of this is something that we teach in the course, but a lot of this information is available on Google and YouTube as well. Okay, so coming to research right now, of course, if you're doing the research about the competition, it's important for you to know what is it that the competition is doing, what is it that they're selling, how much are they selling it for, what is their unique value proposition, what is it that they're really tapping into, and what is it about them that the market really likes. So you may want to research all of that stuff. If you just go to Google and do a simple competition research template, I'm just throwing some ideas out there, but if you go and do some research, right, they're pre-made, ready, done for you templates that will give you a template where you can just go and start researching on your competition. So the important thing is to know what the competition is doing. And again, I mentioned about the tool previously, which is called as terapeak.com. I'll just probably just type it in for everybody, terapeak.com. So this is a tool that you can use, which gives you marketplace intelligence, gives you marketplace data. What is it that people are typing in? What is it that they're looking for? So you know exactly what is it that the market is looking for. Writing a business plan. Now, again, of course, depending on your situation, if you're working for a company, maybe your stakeholders may want you to write a business plan, or if you're working for yourself, you may want to, have some sort of clarity, by creating a business plan. There's a lot of debate lately about business plans. Do these business plans really work or not? The whole point is that you need to have some sort of clarity. You don't have to get it ultra clear. You don't have to nail it down to the last detail. But if you have some sort of clarity as to what you want to do, how you want to do it, it's better to just have that nailed down and document and then just go straight into business, right? So again, guys, the digital space, one thing I want to highlight to everybody is don't waste too much time in researching and crafting the perfect business plan. I've done all these mistakes in the past, only to realize that by the time I've created my business plan, Facebook has changed something, Google has changed something, they have updated their algorithm. So my advice to everybody is have a basic business plan, have some basic clarity, and just go straight into business, and then keep reiterating. Anything to do with digital has to be agile, has to be in a reiteration. It's a reiterative loop. You cannot, there's absolutely no way where you can, get something, think about it and make it perfect and then launch it. It's not going to happen because there are so many different factors. There's so many different tools and so many different things that are happening. You find that things are just changing at God's speed here. Example, right? I'll give you a classic case example from my experience. There was a time when I was into SEO, search engine optimization, and I was trying to launch a product, and I wanted to go through the SEO way, and I did a lot of planning and a lot of thinking and all that stuff, and then only to figure out that Google suddenly changed their algorithm, and within 1 week they changed it again. So very quickly in the digital space, I realized that things are not going to stay static. They're dynamic and they're constantly changing and evolving every single day. So don't waste too much time on getting a business plan right. So that's my advice to everybody here. Research competition, right? Now, so when you're researching your competition, right? What is the time? I'm just looking at eye on the time as well. So if when you're researching your competition, guys, don't go after everybody. It's going to take a lot of your time. Take the top 3 competitors, top 3 brands that kind of resonate with you, that you want to, that an area that you want to enter. So just identify the competition in that space, and then you just want to go straight into digging in deep. Who are their customers? Where are they coming from? Why are they buying from these people? What is so special about these 3 competitors? What is it that they are really, how is it that they're really differentiating themselves? What are the features and the benefits of their promoting? All of this is visible, publicly visible. You go to the landing page, go to the website, sign up for their newsletters, go and follow them on Facebook, Instagram, on the different platforms. You will be able to see everything that they're doing. And again, there are tools, as I said early on, there are tools that will give you a lot of the back-end information as well. So you can use those tools to identify what is it that they're doing behind the scenes as well. What is the shipping strategy? Are they shipping directly from Singapore, or are they drop shipping? Are they sourcing the product from China? So you do find out all of this, all of these details, and wherever possible, try to get a competitive advantage. Yeah. And then browse their website, see what sort of how the template looks like, how the landing page looks like, how intuitive it is, which is very important, how mobile responsive it is. These are little details, little tiny things that really go a long way, because these days people don't want to spend more than 3 seconds if a website does not load. So again, so do a lot of this information is all publicly available. I'm just throwing some ideas how you can get started. Customer reviews, this is very good, customer reviews. So you can just literally go to amazon.com, and then people will would have written reviews there, not just Amazon or Lazada or Shopee. You see people leaving good feedback, negative feedback. Of course, see the good, see what the good feedback is, and then the negative feedback, read those negative feedback as well, because that gives you a good idea of what is it that the competition is missing out and how you can cover that gap. So these are some ways of how you can research in the competition. And again, to share with you some of these tools that will help you to do competitive research. SimilarWeb is a tool that will tell you about the competition's website traffic, how many people are coming in, where are they coming in from, how long are they staying on the website, which are the favorite pages that people are looking at. So again, based on this data, you can create your own website and come up with similar information, but with your own twist and your own spin to it. MailChart, BuzzSumo, Alexa, Facebook Audience Insight. This is a free tool. Hands-on research. So all of this, I mean, I'm just these are not, this is not the entire list. It's the list is too long for me to share here, but just sharing some examples of tools that will give you some insights about what your competition is really doing. All right, businessman, I won't go too much into the detail, but the whole idea is get an idea of what you want to do, how do you want to structure your business, you know, what are your objectives. Marketing plan is what I want to really deep dive into, because marketing is where most businesses struggle. And if they don't know how to market online, then obviously the business is going to go belly up very soon. It may not even pick up. So this is where we will deep dive in the later slides. But have a little bit of an idea of the operations plan, suppliers, who do you want to source the product from, how do you want to source it, get an idea of the taxes involved, you know, and all the other import, export, if you choose to go that way, if you're importing items from China or from whichever part of the world, get an idea of all that before. Again, get an idea of production process, because this also may have, this obviously will be super important if you're, I have been bitten by this. So you want to get a little bit more details from the manufacturer. Hey, do you have enough inventory? Do you have stock? You don't want to get into a situation where you have received the order and then later you realize that, you know what, you cannot fulfill the order, because a lot of these online platforms, they rely on feedback. So if somebody buys from you and you're not able to fulfill the order, very quickly they will leave negative feedback. Financial plan, of course, have a little bit of an idea of what sort of finances, how are they going to look like? Get that right as well. How much do you want to source it for? How much are you going to sell it for? Don't forget the taxes, as I said. Don't forget the other import-export charges that may come into play. All right, so again, setting up a business, I'm sure a lot of you already know this, choosing a name, designing a logo. We will be deep diving into the last three bits: understanding digital marketing and setting up the online store and even choosing a channel. All right, so let me share with you the different digital marketing strategies or channels or ways that you can reach out to your target audience. Now, of course, there are many different channels. You can choose whether you want to go search engine, do you want to go social media, do you want to do email marketing? So let's take a look into some of these ways of reaching out to your target audience. So when it comes to digital marketing, there are generally two approaches. One is called as the outbound marketing or the outbound approach. And the second was inbound marketing. Now, what is the difference here? Outbound marketing is where you, as a business owner, you proactively and aggressively reach out to your market. And how do you do that? Is typically through advertising on Google, advertising on YouTube, advertising on Facebook. So when you proactively reach out to your target audience, your outreach is called as outbound. So that's outbound marketing. Inbound marketing is when your market is searching for you. They have initiated the search. So for example, let's say if you're selling furniture, right? And somebody is searching work from home tables, work from home adjustable tables. So you have done a good job as the website owner. You have a video on it. You have some sort of article on it. For example, how to put up this, maybe you have a review video on it. You can come up with different content ideas. And again, there are different ways of coming up with these ideas. So when people search, when people have initiated the search and their search has landed them to your website, that is inbound marketing. It could be your website, it could be your Facebook page, it could be your Instagram page or any page. But the key thing is your market has initiated the search. So that is what is called as inbound marketing. So there are two approaches here. So let's take a look at these different approaches. So let's talk a little bit about inbound marketing. What are the different ways of how you can do inbound marketing so that when people are searching for you, you show up in their search results. They could be searching for you on Google. They could be searching for you on Facebook. They could be searching for you on YouTube. YouTube is also a search engine, so they could be searching for you there as well. Now, the important thing is that there are three different components to inbound marketing. So first, obviously, is you have your social media platforms where you are putting out your products. Then you have your SEO. SEO stands for search engine optimization, where you have optimized your content based on whatever keywords people are looking for, based on whatever questions they have in the search engine. So they probably, so SEO generally, if somebody's found you through SEO, then most likely they found you through Google, or even SEO applies, optimization applies to YouTube as well. Again, it's all about keywords, about you having the right keywords. Content is where you come up with your own content. So for example, what exactly is content? Content, in simple terms, is just information, right? Buyers are looking for information. So for example, let's say if you want to buy an iPhone and you go and search on the internet the latest iPhone reviews, so when you're searching for information, there is content coming up in front of you, whether it's Google, whether it's YouTube. There's thousands and thousands of lot of different content. Now, this content can come in different formats. It could be a YouTube video that the business has created. It could be a white paper download. It could be a report that they've created. It could just be a simple blog article that they've written. So this content can come in different formats. The whole idea is people are looking for information, and you as a business owner or as a business manager, you have created information to help the audience learn about your product. So if they've got questions, you've got the answers, and they find you through the content that you have created. So if your content is really, really good, they will start building that trust with you. And trust is the one thing that you need before the transaction really happens. So that's why content is so important. You create the content, you educate your audience, you give them the answers that they're looking for, and then they start trusting you. And once they trust you, that's it. The next thing is transaction. So you have them as a paid engagement, as a paid customer. So that's how content is really important. And that's where inbound marketing really comes in. Again, these are different channels. You can go via email marketing. Email marketing is an example of that. Is I'm sure everybody has been a subscriber to some company. If they say, hey, please enter your email and download this report, or enter your email, subscribe now, or watch this video, enter your email. So when you enter your email, you go into the database, and once they have your email address, they'll start following up. They'll try to build a relationship with you. They'll start following up with you. They'll give you that information. So it's all about nurturing the audience, building that relationship before you ask for the sale. That's what email marketing is about. It's one of the highest, one of the most profitable channels. Generally, the ROI is $1 to $40. That's traditionally, statistically, that's the ROI. Every dollar you spend into email marketing, you potentially can get back up to $40, depending on what you're doing, how you're doing, what you're selling, etc. But it's a very high ROI channel. Pay-per-click advertising, typical example is Google. You search for something, and the first four options you see, it's Google Ads. So every time you advertise, and every time a visitor clicks on your ad on Google, you have to pay to Google. So that is pay-per-click advertising. Search engine optimization is when you have created content, and content that your audience likes, but not just about creating content, but you're presenting that content in a way that the search engines appreciate. And when I say search engine, I'm typically referring to Google in Singapore. But again, in the States, Bing is it's got a huge market share. So depending on which search engine, you're putting up your content, you need to optimize your content so that it's not only the audience that likes your content, but your content is structured and presented in a way that the search engines like as well. So search engines are all about bots. They're all about spiders. So when they read the content, if your content is laid out according to the best practices that Google suggests to all website owners or webmasters, then they're going to like your content. If they like your content, they will push your content higher up in the search rankings. And if you are higher up in the search rankings, of course, you have a lot of visitors, you have a lot of clicks, you have a lot of eyeballs. So it's free. It's not where you pay. It's not like paid advertising, but of course, it takes time. It takes 6 to 7 months for a website to do a good search, to do a good job when it comes to SEO, to produce the content, to present the content, and all of that stuff. Display and video advertising, it's typical. It's Google, it's YouTube. Everybody's seen YouTube ads. Display advertising is all the banners that you see on different websites. Social media marketing, again, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, wherever you want to be, you can be, and you can deliver content. Content marketing, again, as I shared with you, it's all about you producing content. Again, very highly profitable. Mobile marketing, it's not very big in Singapore, but it's very big in US. It's in Singapore, I think mostly it's all SMS marketing. SMS marketing is one of the most, I can't really say profitable, but the open rates are very, very high. So that is also another way of how you can reach out to your audience. So these are different marketing channels. So let's I'll just do a very quick stop on each of these. So email marketing, as I shared with you, is just the important thing here is what I need all of you to remember is if you ever decide to go into any online business, it's extremely important for you to build a database. Why do you need to build a database? Is because today you're on Facebook, right? You've got like, let's say you launch a business and in a matter of a few months, you've got like 5,000 followers or 10,000 followers. But suddenly one day you do something that Facebook is not happy about. They will immediately ban your page. They will shut down your page. They will shut down your business manager, and the thousands of followers that you had, you will lose access to them. So if you lose access to them, obviously, how are you going to communicate to them? And that's where email marketing really comes into the picture. Nobody can take away your database. The big challenge with platforms like Google and Facebook is they're so powerful, they're so big that if they don't like what you're doing, they clearly have the power to shut down your Facebook page or shut down your YouTube channel. And they've done that in the past. But generally, in most instances, this happens when the website owner or the platform owner does not really comply to the platform guidelines. Every platform has got compliance guidelines. And if we violate those compliance guidelines, they will ban us. And if they ban us, then we lose access to our followers. So how do we ensure that we are constantly touched with our market? Is to build a database, use email marketing. And so those are the two benefits that you will immediately get with email marketing. Nobody can take away your database from you, and email marketing has got the highest ROI. As I said, it's $40 to $1. So these are different tools. I mean, again, it's not the entire list, just some of the tools that are out there that will help you with email marketing. They generally call us autoresponders as well. They go by that name as well, autoresponders. The whole idea, the reason why they call autoresponders is because you can create an email sequence. You can create a sequence of, let's say, 5, 10, 15 emails, whatever you want, and you can load it on these platforms, and these platforms will automatically send out the emails as soon as you have a subscriber. So this again is not the exhaustive list, but these are some of the popular autoresponders. Pay-per-click advertising, as you can see on the right-hand side, everybody's seen this. I won't spend a lot of time on this. So this typically is any ad that you're running on Google or any search engine has got pay-per-click advertising. It doesn't necessarily have to be on Google. Even on YouTube, it comes in different forms. It's also called as pay-per-view. So if somebody has viewed your YouTube ad, then obviously you will pay. But if nobody's viewed it, nobody's clicked it, don't have to pay. And again, depending on how much of it they viewed, you pay that amount as well. So if they've only viewed 10 seconds, the first 10 seconds, you pay some according to that. If they've only viewed the first 30 seconds, you pay according to that. So it is not like the traditional advertising where you advertise on newspapers or on magazines. So for example, if you advertise a newspaper, you immediately have to just fork out $5,000 and you have no idea who has seen, if they have seen, you've got no visibility to that. So for example, if you decide to advertise in a magazine, they'll just ask you to pay this X amount of dollars. And all you need to know is that this newspaper or magazine has got circulation for X number of subscribers, but you don't know who's watched it, how long did they watch it for, did they even watch it? You've got no idea. But with digital, you can track every single dollar. These platforms will tell you exactly, Facebook tells you exactly, Google tells you exactly where did the audience come from, which page did they land on when they clicked on your ad, where else did they go, how much time did they spend, what is the demographic, what is the likely demographic, right? What device they're using, what browser they're using. So you have plenty of information when you go online. It's up to you how you use that information to really market your products. So that's pay-per-click advertising. Again, unlike SEO, pay-per-click is the fastest way to scale a business. because, and the reason why I say that is because if you launch an ad right now, and if you just, if your ad goes live, if the platform approves your ad after you've launched, if you go live immediately, your target market will start seeing your ad. So it just goes in real time. And if they like what you've done, if you've done all the right things, you can really optimize. If they start buying, let's say if you're running an ad for $50 and if you're selling something for $100 and 100 people have seen your ads, one person decides to buy, it's still profitable for you because the entire ad launch cost you only $50 and you're selling the item for $100. So you can be you can be profitable straight away depending on if you're doing the right thing. And if you're profitable, you can scale your business very, very quickly as well. Search engine optimization is completely the opposite of pay-per-click advertising. It doesn't cost you anything. You don't have to pay anything. It's free in the sense you don't have to pay anything to the search. You don't have to pay anything to the website. But if you decide to engage an agency to do your SEO, you may have to pay to them. But it usually takes, as I said, I'm not sure if I shared this with you earlier, but it usually takes about 6 to 7 months to do a good job in terms of search engine optimization, because there are a lot of different factors that you need to keep in mind. But having said that, search engine optimization has got its own benefits. One of the benefits is okay, so one of the benefits is I'm sure a lot of you don't go to the second page, right? A lot of us, at least in my case, what I would do is I would just search for something and I never really go to page 2. I only go to, I'm only sticking in the first page, and I just look at the first 3 or 4 results to really see if they have what I'm looking for. If I don't get it, then I quickly jump on to another search engine, typically YouTube. If I get the answers from just people like us, are they doing any reviews or something like that? But it is really, really good because, as you can see from the stat at the top right, 67% of all clicks are from the first 5 listings. So if you, as a business owner or as a website owner, if your website shows up in the top, imagine if you're the first, second, or even the third, you can get a lot of traffic for free. What do I say for free? Because unlike pay-per-click advertising, you don't have to pay to show up, right? It's in the case of ads, you have to pay, which is pay-per-click advertising. But SEO, you don't have to pay, so you're at the top. But the other important thing is, subconsciously, we all know that to show up at the top in ads, you just have to pay your way in. Like, for example, if you do the right thing that Google is asking you to do, and if you make the payment and all the other things, you check all the list, check the other items in the list, they will show you in the ads. But we all know that subconsciously, I think most of us know that people who don't pay for the ads but show up in the search results are generally who are doing a good job. They've earned the right to be there, to be at the top 1, 2, or 3 at those spots. And that's the reason why these spots get a lot of clicks. So imagine if you're a business owner and if you're in this particular position, then you are going to get a lot of free traffic. And if you get free traffic, and once they land on your landing page, and then they go through the purchase, they go through your funnel, they end up buying, then your profitability is even higher, because unlike ads, you do not pay $50 for the ad. They came to you for free and they now bought the item for $100. So you have got that big margin, and you also have the email address now in the database. So search engine optimization has got its own pros, but the only con or the only downside to search engine optimization is that it takes generally about 6 months for a website to do a good job in terms of producing and presenting and distributing the content on different medias. So it's a little bit slow, but it's got its own benefits. Now, again, there are different factors that Google, of course, everybody knows, they've got an algorithm. It's the algorithm that decides who to show at the top. And this algorithm has got many different factors. I mean, most people, we don't even know for sure if it's more than 900, it could be more. So experts or thought leaders just speculate that it's over 900 different factors. It could be more, it could be less. Google has never revealed it because this obviously is their core business. So they're never going to reveal, otherwise people will just, they can take some naughty marketers can be a little bit cheeky. They can play the system, or they can, just take the back door. So Google never really reveals it, but some very few factors that you should be considering are your website's content, the structure. And again, all of this Google has made very transparent. They have this entire library for webmasters or web owners, and they really teach the webmasters what to do, what is the right thing to do. So it's not that they've made it very transparent, but it takes a long time for a company to do that. But if you do it, the rewards are obviously quite humongous. Mobile optimization. So your website should be mobile responsive. Google does not like it if the end user is not having a good experience. So let's say, I'm sure you may have had this experience. You searched for something and you ended up on a website, and on the mobile, you just realize that the website is not optimized to the device that you're using. You have to scroll up and down, left and right to really get the answer you're looking for. So that is mobile optimization. Loading time is again super important to Google. They want to make sure, the whole point, or the whole idea why Google is so pedantic about all of this is because they want the end users to have a really, really good experience on the platform. And that's the reason why it's clearly one of the world's most valuable companies, right? So if you do exactly what they say, of course, you're going to have rewards. As I said, you will show up at the top, you're going to have lots of visitors, and you're going to have the trust, you're going to have the transaction eventually. Social media marketing, everybody knows about this. I won't spend a lot of time on this. This is really about you setting up a platform on different platform, or whichever platform you've chosen, Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, all these different platforms. They're all free. Of course, you have a lot of, you can build your credibility, you can bring your fan following, your audience through all the things that one can do on these platforms. Display and video advertising. Video advertising is, again, as I shared with you earlier, it's really about advertising on YouTube. That's the best way of advertising. There's a huge audience on YouTube, and generally the kind of audience that comes on YouTube, they're quite engaged. I'm sure if you were to relate back to one of your experiences, if you wanted to buy something and you wanted to learn about the product, there's a very high likelihood you probably have gone to YouTube and you've searched how to use iPhone. I don't know, I'm just throwing an example, how to use iPhone, or how to use whatever product. So the how to search is a big search category in itself. So imagine if somebody searched for that, and you at the top, you come up with a video ad. Hey, you're looking for this, we have the answer to this. So you create an instant, your message instantaneously resonates with whoever is searching for it. So that's video advertising. Again, very profitable, video is the highest form of engagement. Remember this, video is the highest form of engagement. Everybody wants to see video. I mean, sure, there's articles, there's text, there's pictures, but there's something about videos that it engages all our senses. You see, you hear, it's multi-sensory. So that's the reason why video has got a high uptake. Display advertising, as I shared with you, is banner advertising. My advice to you, don't go into banner advertising till you become an expert, because it will take it'll drain a lot of money. and it's not very responsive as such. You've got other ways to tap into before you go into display advertising. Content marketing, as I shared with you earlier, it's really about you creating engaging content. So again, in the simplest words, if I were to teach you what exactly is content, it's really you or your brand or your business coming up with information to educate your audience. Simple as that. Okay. The first time I heard about content marketing, I don't know, 10 years ago, I was like, what is this? What do you mean by content marketing? But I realized that content marketing is really nothing. It's just a brand, a business coming up with content to educate or to entertain. It could be entertainment as well. It could be education as well, or it could be a combination to entertain or to educate their audience, so that you build that rapport, you build the trust, and of course, as I said earlier, trust precedes transaction. If you have the trust, you clearly will have their transaction. So that's the reason why content is important. Mobile marketing, typical ways of reaching out to your audience is SMS. SMS has got a very high open rate of 98% compared to 22% for emails. But again, it can be 8 times more effective. Email marketing in itself is very effective, but if you get SMS right, I've never seen a company doing SMS right, to be entirely honest. But if you do it correctly, of course, it's got its own rewards. All right, so let's quickly, what is the time? I'm just doing a quick time check. I hope it's okay. It's 4 o'clock. I hope it's okay for me to go slightly overboard, but I will not take a long time, guys. Stick with me and I'll try to wrap it up quickly. So Shopify, what is Shopify? Okay, in simple terms, Shopify is a one-stop platform that really helps you to set up a store from end to end. Why Shopify? Because if you don't go Shopify, you really have to talk to a developer, designer, and really hard code your website from scratch. Hard code in the sense you really will have to get them to write a code to develop your website. Nobody has got the time for it, and it's not even the most intelligent way of doing it. Shopify. So this is how it was previously done. But then obviously this company, this Canadian company, Shopify, realized, you know what, this is a huge problem. People want to launch e-commerce businesses, but there's a lot of back-end development happening, and not many people actually know how to talk to developers, how to talk to designers. Nobody wants, even if you know, nobody wants to waste time, because it takes like about 3 or 4 months to really hard code a website and get it up and running. Why would you want to do that when you can use Shopify and just go straight into business in just one Saturday afternoon? You just go and create an account, Shopify, choose which pricing option suits your business model, and then immediately after that, it's just a matter of choosing the theme and uploading the product images, and then you can just go straight into business. So let me show you a few things. So here, Shopify, you can sign up, all the different, it's really, really simple and self-explanatory. Sign up options are here. $29 for basic Shopify store, $79 if you're a little bit advanced. And if you're really, really hardcore, then it's like $299 per month. This is all American dollars. This is USD, so don't forget that. So it's all quoted in USD. So if you're going, just try the basic option, $29 per month. The first thing is they give you 14 days of free trial. So go and play with the platform. A free trial is 14 days. Go and get an idea of how the platform looks like. So once you've created an account, it's just a matter of adding your products. When you add your products, add the product title, the description. I'm sure you've seen a lot of this on the e-commerce platforms, but this is the actual back end of it. This is how you upload a product. You give the name to the product and you give the description to the product. And then you add images. You add image alt text as well. So these are some image alt text is really the text that you use that the search engines can find you. That's another benefit of using Shopify. You don't have to separately go and optimize your platform so Google can find you. You just have to, you can do it within the Shopify platform and Google will still find you. So that's how you add products. You can add different product variants as well. If you've got different sizes, if you've got different colors, whatever you want to do, you can have up to like 100 variants. So they give you a lot of flexibility to put up your products. SEO, again, just a little bit of optimization within the Shopify platform itself, so that your listings will show up when somebody's searching on Google. They search for something on Google. If you put in the right keywords, if you put in the right description, Google again will show you. So that way, Shopify has already done that optimization thing for you. You just have to make sure that you're using the right words, the right description, etc. Adding products, creating categories. Of course, you can create categories if you just have, let's say, if you've got dresses for summer, that's one category. Dresses, you've got tops, that's one category. Dresses, pants, that's one category. So a lot of things you can do in Shopify itself, guys. So I won't go too much with the details. We will teach you. Should you decide to go ahead with us, we teach all this in our courses. But again, if you don't want to, there's a lot of information available on YouTube itself. Shopify has its own education platform that teaches people, but we will teach you end to end. How do you create it and how do you market it? Adding products, sorting products in a collection. You can sort it. You can decide to show how you want to show to your website viewers. And then this is another important thing. They help you set up your shipping as well. Shipping can be a huge hassle, guys, if you're doing it separately. I have dealt with this, and it can get a little bit challenging, but Shopify makes it really, really easy for you. You don't have to worry about shipping charges and all of that stuff. Everything can be integrated within Shopify itself. Payments and taxes, this can be a huge problem as well. So before Shopify launched, let's say going back 5 years or maybe more, when Shopify wasn't around, if you were to launch an e-commerce platform, you would have to go to your bank, whether it's DBS or CBC, whichever bank you deal with. You have to go and open up a credit line with them. Then you have to organize a payment gateway. They may put you through a credit check and all of that stuff. But with Shopify, none of that stuff is there. Everything is out there. You just have to decide which payment provider you want to use, and you can just go straight into business. They manage the taxes as well. So this is a huge benefit. A lot of you may or may not be interested in taxes. For example, when I started, I was just interested in my e-commerce business. I wasn't interested in taxes and all that stuff. But Shopify makes it very easy for you to manage your taxes. They have pre-populated tax rates, and depending on whatever product you're selling, whichever vertical is, whichever country you're selling in. So they've got all of this pre-populated. So that is a huge help for people who are not very passionate about accounting and taxes, and if you find it really dry. Shopify also lets you choose themes that you want. Again, the whole idea of choosing a theme is you don't want to get a designer involved. Of course, you can get a designer, but they give you themes. There are free themes available. There are themes that are available that you can buy. So the whole point is you just need to go and find out what is it that you like, and then you just go straight launch into business. So they've got themes available for your stores as well. These themes are customizable. You can play around. You can do whatever you want, really. However you want to customize, however you want to tailor it, you really can do that. They've got these buy now buttons as well. So again, buy now is a big thing. You don't want your audience to come to the cart and leave the item in the cart. So these dynamic checkout buttons, they're kind of smart in the sense, if somebody has left something in the cart and they've forgotten, or probably they're not buying, they're not ready to buy, then obviously you can use digital advertising. You can use remarketing campaigns to go after these guys and get them to come back and complete the purchase. Of course, you can add blog posts as well within the Shopify platform itself. So that's another benefit that you have. You don't have to create another website or a separate section for your blog that lets you have a blog section as well, where you can talk about your product, you can give information about your product, you can create content about your product to educate your audience as well as to entertain your audience, because a lot of people in many segments, many verticals, they are constantly looking for answers on how to use the product. Landing page is nothing but it's just a page where people will actually land when they click on your ad. So if you've got an ad and if they click on the ad and you've decided a landing page for them to land on, that is what is called as a landing page. It's just a fancy name in this space, but really it's a page where your website visitors will land. So we teach you how to have good landing pages, and you can build these landing pages within Shopify itself. Again, landing pages, there's an effective way of doing it, there's an ineffective way of doing it. So again, there's a little bit of art involved in there, a little bit of science involved as well. All of this can be measured as well, what you're doing. What is it working for you? Is it not working for you? So these are some of the best practices. You need to have a call to action button. You should have a good description. Your landing page should be focused on conversion, but not overly focused, because you don't want to give a bad experience, or you don't want to come across as too salesy or too pushy. But it should have those conversion elements as well. Product images should be high quality. Videos would be fantastic. Great if you could have some sort of social proof and reviews built into the landing page, because that gives that increased confidence to your customers that other people like them, have bought it, have purchased it, and they like the product. Optimized for mobile. So this is another good thing. The Shopify platform is automatically optimized for mobile. So whichever device your visitor is coming to your website from, it's going to be optimized. Well, it could be an iPad. So if it's iPad, the screen will automatically, the browser will automatically optimize itself and show so that the end viewer is having a good experience. If they're coming from an iPhone, then again, the browser or Shopify has the functionality where it's mobile responsive. It will automatically squeeze in, fit in, and show it in a good way, in a way where the viewer is having a good user experience. So that's one thing. And here again, so they help you with a little bit of this legal stuff as well. So you don't have to go and engage somebody in the legal space to come up with a terms and conditions generator or privacy policy refund. You have these generators within Shopify. Of course, if you've got something specific for your business, and if you really want to consult somebody in the legal space, you're more than welcome. But a lot of things are available to you for free. You can just run with the ready-made templates. Again, all of this can be a little bit painful, but Shopify has already taken care for you. Never forget to test your store before you go online. That is very simple and straightforward. There's another simple functionality that Shopify helps you with. You can pause your store. Let's say if you're going out on a vacation, you can actually pause your store. Unlike eBay, I was bitten by eBay. I was on vacation, but I couldn't really put a pause to it many years ago, and orders came in and I couldn't fulfill the orders, and I got negative feedbacks, and it affected my business. But all of this can be done within the Shopify platform itself. So with that, I come to the end of the presentation. I'm extremely sorry I've run nearly 15 minutes past the dedicated time, but I hope all of you got some value out of this session. I do have a few questions. So the first question I've got it from Cheryl. Also, we get free tutorials, example Excel. What do the people gain for producing such videos to help us? Okay, Cheryl, that's a super question. Now okay, so Cheryl's got a question. I'm going to repeat this question for everybody. We get free tutorials, example Excel. What do the people gain from producing such videos to help us? Okay, now this again is, Cheryl, as I mentioned, it's a part of the overall content marketing strategy. So if somebody is giving you a free Excel, if they give you some free training on Excel, yes, they've given you free training on some small area. They probably created a 5-minute video, a 10 minutes video, maybe a 20 minutes video, but it's free for you. But in the back end, what they have is they're selling paid courses, right? So the benefit to them is you as a visitor, they have found you. The benefit to you is you have a question that you were looking to find the answer to, and you bumped into them and you found their video. And if you like their video, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel. You can subscribe to the newsletter. And of course, if you subscribe, in the back end, they have paid courses to promote. So they will be like, hey, Cheryl, you saw my 20 minutes video, my free 20 minutes video. If you liked it, you may also want to check out these other 2 free videos. If you like these other 2 videos, you may want to buy my course. So that is how the funnel really works. Give something to the audience for free, and if they like it, they will come back to you for a paid product. So I hope I've answered that question, Cheryl. There's another question here. Will Shopify just delete your account without any reminder? I heard WordPress would not delete your account. Is WordPress a good platform for good business? Okay, this is a very good question. Shopify, none of these platforms will delete your account without prior notification, right? Generally, for them to delete an account, I probably would have to do something really, really crazy. I would have really violated their guidelines for them to ban me. So generally, all these platforms, Facebook, Google, Shopify, they will let you know, hey, you did not do this right. Please go and fix this. Somebody will reach out to you, a notification, an email, or something of that sort. But they will never really ban your account. Is WordPress a good platform to set up your online business? You can use WordPress, but again, as I said, with Shopify, everything it's plug and play. You can just launch into business in just one Sunday afternoon. Everything is out there for you. With WordPress, you really will have to build it in. You have to, go and do your research, and you've got to put things together. That's what WordPress is all about. We got a question from Yili. Do Terapic only shows result from eBay? Yili, it's been many years since I used Terapic, to be entirely honest, but when I was using Terapic at the time, they were only showing results from eBay, and I was researching for the Australian market. But yes, they show eBay, but if I'm not wrong, they may be showing for Amazon as well now. What is the difference between Wix and Shopify? This is a good question. Wix and Shopify, so Shopify was one of the first platforms to launch, right? Wix is obviously a newer platform, but Shopify was the first pioneer in the space that launched. And of course, Wix comes behind it. So Wix will generally tell you, Shopify is mainly geared towards e-commerce platforms, right? So if you want to sell a physical product, digital product, Shopify is the way to go. But lately, Wix has pivoted their business model. Now they support you with e-commerce platforms as well. So they both, it's totally up to you. Which one do you want to use? Which one really helps you with your business? But they're more or less, they're the same. Can you elaborate on ad auction and PPC? Thank you, crashed near the point. Okay. All right, so there's some question. Can you elaborate on ad auction and PPC? Think you crashed. So this is a question from Robert. Robert, ad auction is a very detailed space to go into, but just to give you a very quick high-level view is when you obviously set a cost per click for your ad, you're telling Google that you are ready to pay 10 cents, 20 cents, 50 cents, $1, $10, $14, $40, depending on how competitive your vertical is. So for example, anything in the finance space, personal loans, home loans are very, very competitive. So cost per click can go as high as $40. Anything in the weight loss space is again very competitive. They can go up to like $40 per click. So depending on what your whatever amount you have set to Google, that this is what you're willing to pay for every cost, that is taken into consideration with other factors like your ad rank, right? So generally they have something called as an ad rank, and ad rank has got many different factors behind it. Are you doing the right thing? Do you have the right amount of keywords? Does your URL look right? Do you have other elements that they have suggested as best practice? So all of this goes into consideration of ad auction. It's not straightforward. On YouTube, there's a very detailed video. There are many detailed videos as to how Google decides which ad to show at the top. So go and check it out. And that space is constantly evolving. Another question from John Paul Shan, why Shopify versus Shopee? Okay, cool, good question. So John, for Shopify gives you a lot of flexibility. So really you have total control on what you want to do with the platform. It's like your store. You own the store. You can do anything that you want in the store. You can still have shops on Shopify or AliExpress, but they have some sort of restrictions. They won't let you do your own store. But again, since you've asked it, let me also mention that if you're launching into a business, right, it's a good idea to start off with platforms like Shopee or AliExpress, right? Because they let you do everything on their platform itself, and you don't need to have your own standalone store. So when I started, I actually started with eBay. I just wanted to test market. I just wanted to play. I just wanted to learn. I just wanted to see how does this even make sense to me? Is this going to be interesting? So I just wanted to play and get an idea. So I launched with eBay. If my business were to grow, I probably would have taken into a standalone website, and then I would have had a dedicated website of my own using Shopee. So the whole idea is about you taking control of your business and taking control of the audience that you have. So that's the reason why you may want to consider Shopify. But start off with the free platforms first, play around, learn something, and then you can always have your Shopify store. Edwin has got this question, is this training sponsored by Shopify? No, this training is not sponsored by Shopify. Shopify versus Shopline, are they the same? Okay, Shireen has got this question. Okay, again, there's the same answer to this, Shireen. Shopify is the legacy platform. They're the first guys in the space, and they're the most advanced space. Shopline is fairly new. It's just coming up. It's just recently picking up. But Shopline, if I'm not wrong, I think these guys are more specific to the Asia Pacific region, where Shopify is a Canadian business. It's all over the globe, and it's the most advanced platform that we have right now. Jason's got a question. Is Pinterest advertising becoming almost as indispensable for business as for Facebook advertising these days? Okay, good question, Jason. I don't think Pinterest is there just yet. Personally, speaking, coming out of personal experience, I have advertised on Facebook. I know people who advertise on Facebook. The kind of targeting and reach Facebook gives you, Pinterest does not have it. And I don't think they will ever have it because they don't have those details about you. So we can't compare Facebook and Pinterest. Nobody beats Facebook. Facebook knows everything about us. They know more about us than Google does, because clearly willfully we've given a lot of our personal details to them. And Google may have, because obviously if you have Gmail, then obviously clearly they have, but Facebook, they know everything about you because they're tracking everything. And same applies to Google as well. But when it comes to advertising, I would say I would recommend people to learn Facebook advertising first because of its simplicity of the platform. The platform is very simple. The interface is very simple to understand. And it just makes more sense for everybody to advertise on Facebook because there's a lot of audience. You can laser target that audience, and therefore you can have a higher return on your investment. We've got another question from Silco. I have a question to one of his slides. I think, do you mind going to that slide? Okay, where was I? Do you know what is the popular tools people are using to do their logistics and sales on Facebook live sales? Shreen, I know of people who are not using any tools, to be entirely honest, right? So again, the question that Shreen asks is, do you know what is a popular tools people are using to do their logistics and sales on Facebook live sales? So in the back, of course, if they're doing something live on Facebook or on Instagram, they're just using that platform to sell. But in terms of logistics, some of the if you're asking for logistics specifically, of course, SingPost, another company that has really optimized their logistics for e-commerce players is Ninja Van. You may want to check out Ninja Van. They're very optimized to e-commerce sellers. So that is, I hope I've answered your question. Will the slides and recording be uploaded for download? If I'm not wrong, this recording is available. I will let the team answer the question. Can you use Shopify platform to sell into overseas market? Yes, Ryan, you can use Shopify to sell into overseas market. You can sell anywhere using Shopify. All right, so I hope I've answered those questions, guys. Thank you so much for your questions. And I'm going to pass the mic back to our MC for today.
Ladies and gentlemen, before the session ends, please scan the QR code and provide your feedback or comments on the webinar. And lastly, I would like to share with you about our skills and training advisory service. If you're not sure how to get started on your upskilling journey, you can sign up for the free one-to-one skills and training advisory session, where a skills ambassador will guide you in understanding your career goals and provide suitable course recommendations. Simply scan on the QR code and indicate SFMX Smart Nation in the mandatory field, how do you hear about us, at the bottom of the registration form. Our skills ambassadors will contact you within 2 to 3 working days. We have come to the end of the webinar and we thank you for joining us. Hope you have gained important insights from our speaker. Thank you and hope to see you in our other sessions.